Hello everyone, and thank you for being here. I am your Shakti guide, Helene Westlund, and I welcome you to the Shakti Flow Summit, where we learn how to embrace our feminine flow to receive more joy, balance, and energy in life. In this circle, no time exists, so everyone who watches or listens to this now or later are all included in the energy of this circle right now. Today I am speaking with my very own personal teacher in the art of magic, Rose Thundercrow, also known as Jolanda Tarot. Rose is a veteran in the Swedish New Age movement. She is the author of the book Jolanda Tarot and the Art of Magic, an initiator and co-creator of the Jolanda Tarot deck, illustrated by the late artist Hans Arnold. Through her consistent work, she's become well known to the Swedish public, and she's frequently appearing in diverse forms of media as an expert seer and as a magic worker. Here in Stockholm, she and the Jolanda community rent a magical tower on the Blue Hill, where the community gather and ancient traditions are kept and performed, like summer solstice and moon ceremonies and other activities that unites magical societies from around the world. She is also, of course, doing private tarot readings for clients, both in person and over the phone. But you can read more about that on her webpage. For now, let's welcome Rose. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, so how are you today?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Oh, it's a good day today. And we're going to talk about magic and feminine power. So I always start with the question, what is feminine energy to you? How do you explain it? And can you compare it to the masculine energy?
Feminine energy is intuition, I believe. It's the ability to have an inner knowing of the best way of action in the moment, and also eventual consequences from that action, I think, can be clear to a woman, the female power. As certain men can also possess this female intuition, of course, all men do. Yeah, so yes. It's an inner knowing.
The inner knowing. We've been talking a lot about how both women and men has to incorporate both feminine and masculine energy. So do you have a tip on how you balance out between the two energies? How do you know when to do what?
Well, I can start with saying that I've got 3 children. They are grown-ups now, and they are all men, boys, men. So they have been really hard on me all the time to not put the female power as something that is higher or better in any way, to really guard this equality philosophy, belief system. Always when I say in the name of the mother, I must also add and the father. So also when I always say the goddess, all life comes from the goddess, from the feminine. The feminine womb gives birth, creates life. But then I always have to say with assistance of the male. So somehow the male comes in as still the secondary.
It's still the secondary, but I think it's important if you have boys, because then you will make them feel more worthy.
Yeah, well, what is this word? With the oneness, to feel connected, to feel valuable, to feel a part of the whole.
Yeah, because we as women we always been the male god, and we were nothing. And if we just talk about the female god and the goddess, always the goddess, then we will do the same to the boys. So
yeah, exactly. So but therefore also it's this female energy, it's very important then for women to gather and meet and extra honor this female energy and to really value it as it should be valued, to recreate the balance, because we have lived with this unbalance, with the male principle as the superior, as the one and only. So therefore there is a great need to restore this balance, and therefore we need to put lots of energy into exploring the power of the feminine.
Exactly. And I've been on your moon ceremonies for a long time now, and men are totally excluded from the
with
moon
the exception of
ceremonies.
Hugo, who was part for a while. He was transgender.
Yes, there is always an exceptions to rules, right?
To the golden rule, yeah. And sometimes we let men in also, but mostly, the priority
is for women to talk about. But why do you want, except for growing the power of women, is there another reason to why you want it to be only women? Is it another kind of energy, or is it to open up more? Or
hang on, I have to let my cat out.
Yes, I hear you.
There's I noticed so clearly that when you are a group of women, the energy is one way, and then when a man enters, the atmosphere in the room changes, very subtle, but all women sort of stretch their back a little bit. They sort of it's just a subtle change in body posture, in alertness of the mind. Immediately all attention is going to the male. Somehow, I mean, it's really subconscious, it's deeply. So when you don't have that male presence in the room, then women are able to relax in a different way, and are able to express more deeply women's matter. I mean, what we have in common: the womb, the menstruation cycle, the mood change, the hormonal influence on our psyche, and such. And this is not of interest for men to really, I mean, sometimes, of course, and I raised my sons to know the female works.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, often you can see
the
the same
cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the moon. And they've been with me for many moon ceremonies when they were children. And they loved it, falling asleep by the fire and all the women singing sacred songs, and the drum.
Yeah, the drum.
So my sons are raised with this powerful female energy.
Yes. We're not here to talk about them, but when you meet them, you can feel it in their personality.
They have a, and we talk about that. It's a common sense. I mean, they have this intuition quite developed. They sort of, and they respect it. So they listen within.
Yes.
So that's a great thing. And they respect me as their mother, not by fear, but with friendship or a mutual respect and listening and growing.
Yeah, the mutual.
Together.
Yeah, and the mutual respect is so important. I have noticed this when I've been going through the hardships with my kids now. A lot of people say I have to be firmer, you have to set more boundaries, and you're not their friend, you're their parent.
Yeah.
And
but it's not about
a fine line.
But it's not about boundaries. This motherhood, leadership, mothership. It's you can be firm but kind.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't mean they can bullshit you in any way. And as being the witch mother, I always know what they're up to, and that's a little bit scary to them. but not always. Of course, they have secret pockets in their lives that I have not gained access to, which they should have.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the
But,
same thing with my daughter. She was doing
yeah,
something that wasn't good, and I told her you shouldn't be doing that, and she was like, "You have no proof." And I was like, "I don't
yeah.
need proof."
No, yeah, you have no proof. That's hilarious. That's so funny.
Yeah.
No, but often also with children, if you tell them what they shouldn't, that's what they'll do.
Yeah, of course.
So, you have to be a bit more cleverer than that. Just
Yeah.
reverse the psychology.
Yeah, I actually have a friend who said the other day we should treat events in our lives like Tinder. You see, you observe, and then you swift left or right whether you want how you want to act on the situation. Not so much about the feeling, but just observe.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's one way to see it. I have another way with social media and enlightenment,
Mm-hmm.
the Facebook river. So then you can visualize that you are Buddha, sitting by the tree,
Yeah.
feeling your roots and such, and then watch the river float by. And you see different, energy whirlings like this in the water, and it's people's emotions are, and then it's going and it's passing. And so you can sit there and contemplate, the
Oh, yeah.
human existence. And so, yeah, that's
It's all
funny.
about trying to be in observer mode.
Yeah.
And being
But still with this sliding of emotions and stuff, I think more, I'm more like, get to know yourself and all your emotions, and don't be so reckless as just discarding all the time that which you don't feel is really comfortable. Because it's very important to stop and say, oh, I feel this anxiety, and really go into it and go to the roots and find out where does this anxiety really stem from, and can I cure it, can I heal it, can I balance. So this is, we get into the tarot cards as a way of getting to know yourself in all your aspects, positive and negative.
Yes.
So if there's an image, that scares me, you should use that as a flag to say, this is interesting. This is worth investigating.
Yes. And that's how we can use the tarot cards. I can show, you have this international one.
Yeah.
But it was released a couple of years ago. I don't know if there is any left, but we will reprint them again soon.
Yeah, and this is the Swedish one.
Oh, yeah, the Swedish one.
Yeah, I show it. Yeah. Yeah, this painstakingly work to create a tarot deck and to write a book about it.
Yes, and it's an amazing book. It's a really amazing book. And the cards are, of course, truly amazing.
Yeah.
Hans Arnold has just made the most beautiful pictures, and there's always more to see, and you can go down to see every little thing, and you can also see it as an overview.
Yeah, it's his, as an artist, he was 72 years old when we were introduced to each other, and I was 40. So he had all this experience. He had been illustrating so many children's books, and he'd made 3 animated movies even. And yeah, so he was really experienced, and he really wanted to do the tarot cards as well, because he wanted to be a surrealist artist, and one of his idols was Salvador Dali.
Oh.
And he had the tarot deck Salvador Dali made.
Oh.
So, and he treasured this. So when we were introduced, it was a match made in heaven, because I had the theoretical knowledge about the tarot, or I was gaining it at the time, which I then continued to gain during the process of writing the book and making the images. So every card Hans painted, I had to do lots of research to really get to what it was all about. I mean, what kind of illustration would it be? on this particular energy, because it's all different. It's a pictorial language. It's different kind of energies.
Yes.
And Hans, as an artist, was so receptive and intuitive. He was really balanced in his male-female body aspect. And so his images are transmitting and portraying his experience, his wisdom, his everything.
Yeah.
So it's now when I translated the texts into English in this process, since Hans now has passed to the other side as a spirit, he's in the spirit world now. So when I started this process of translating, he visited me as from the spirit world, and the images he made started to communicate in a different way. He started to teach me from spirit world. So so now I could say the whole book is kind of remade also in Swedish. So the next edition in Swedish will be something different than the previous editions.
It's
a continual growth process.
Yeah, it is, and it's the third or the third.
In Sweden, it will actually be the fifth edition.
Fifth edition.
Yeah, believe it or not. Yes.
I only have 3.
yeah, that's good. Every edition will be a collector's item in the future, I hope.
Yeah.
I envision.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because there are only 3,000 printed of that exact copy, and no more in the exact same.
Yeah. I had the privilege of doing your tarot course at his place. Because we were supposed to be somewhere and it fell through, and we ended up in his apartment.
Yeah, so beautiful. Yes. So wonderful. He had this furniture in his living room that from a Swedish county called Dalarna. It's a bit north of Stockholm, where there is much folklore in the design of furniture and in the color. It's a special blue color, and they make these flowers that comes from the time before the churches were built. So he had this furniture in his living room, this blue color and those flowers. And I had exactly the same furniture in my dollhouse when I was a kid. I had the same. It was so surrealistic.
Yeah, really magical. Yeah, and I remembered he allowed us into his studio and we could watch his painting.
Yeah, you always felt like a little child when you came to Hans. It's great. He became my surrogate daddy.
Yes.
I mean, not sugar daddy. I mean surrogate.
Surrogate daddy, something completely different.
And he was so good at listening. And he collected magic women as friends. He had a woman in Uppsala who made sculptured dragons. Her name was Ulrika. So very special, very witchy woman, and others like.
So for the women who wants to use your tarot deck or any other deck, what do you recommend? Is it a card a day, or do you think women should? Well, how do you recommend it?
Yeah, I think a card a day is good, and to choose one in the morning and then evaluate it in the evening. See what did this card, what significance has it had this day? How can I translate it into my everyday life? What kind of emotion is it mirroring? Like, for instance, I mean the card that's called Fury, like when you get really angry. Take that in the morning and you feel like, oh, what can I supposed to be so angry about today? Then you just crack. I mean, I was in the subway and there was a football match and there was these football supporters and they were behaving really ruthless. I sat next to a pregnant woman and they were making the carriage shake like this and shouting, and I just burst out in anger, and I just stood up and I just screamed full of my lungs, but stop!
The rage of a witch.
Yeah, raging witch. And they did stop.
Yeah.
That was really so funny. So in the evening, I could really laugh, at this card I had chosen in the morning.
Yeah, and I can also use it the other way. I pick it in the morning and I see it as a warning almost. If I get fury, I will be like, okay, no one should pressure me to be. Yeah, and I will be cautious, and something will happen. I will be like, oh no, I'm not getting angry because I have been warned, so I should be calm now. So, but then again,
but sometimes maybe you just need this angry outburst.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. I probably usually needs to express some more anger.
Yeah, somehow in the way I interpreted the whole magic work is to be more authentic, more genuine in all these different kind of emotions you're experiencing. Not that you have to, like, in a little innocent, shivering child. I mean, that's the wrong kind of channeling of this energy. Sort of, with practice, you can channel this energy in a constructive way.
Yeah.
Like I did in that subway, in that train, I knew this is not hurting anyone, these guys can take it, and they will be full of respect and say, shit, there's a woman, a lion woman, So turn it into something fun. Then let it, just
flow away. Yeah, I want to connect back to what we were talking about, feeling the feelings and not suppressing. I'm trying to do that right now. So I tend to, if I'm on, for example, the Facebook river, I try to stop where there is animal abuse and not just, oh no. I try to watch it, to process it, and try to learn to let it go, but it's still hard. But I try not to.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, yes. The cruelty in the world is horrible.
Yes.
It's really hard parts to digest. But I think it's good to be aware of what's going on, but not to kind of indulge in it either.
Exactly.
Because there are people that are indulging it. It becomes a little bit pornographic even.
Yes.
It can be really serious, disgusting. But, so I don't know, but as well as to be aware of also this disgusting things exist, but not to indulge.
That is so true.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yes.
But then again, if we are incarnated here as soul beings, and we are here to gather experience and what it is to be human, and what we have for energies to play with, if you want, on this realm of existence. So, then we have these different kind of emotions, and we can be these really cruel beings. And then there's the personal choice, the free choice. Do I want to be this cruel being, or do I want to feed it, or do I want to feed the alchemist way, the turning gold, lead to gold, the spiritual evolution.
Yes.
So that's the personal choice, and I think in some cases you need to be really cruel in some incarnation to learn about how that is as an experience. And then next incarnation you can choose to, try to not to be cruel.
Yeah. To make up for it, perhaps even.
Yeah, and then also to, I think in my belief system, I think, we have to have all experiences. So as when I see my previous lives, I see I've been the bully, I've been the victim, I've been them all. I saw this show of the English royal family, Tudor, and there's sex, power games, cruelty, torture, all kinds of things, politics, power games. And when I saw it, I said, I've been the king, I've been all the wives, I've been the servant, I've been the stable boy, I've been the cook, I've been, the whole,
yeah.
the all.
Yes.
So I can identify with all of them.
Mm-hmm. And that is a good thing, of course.
Yeah, it was an epiphany this summer I had.
Yeah.
For this, yeah, it was great. It was really like, oh, well, I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
So remember that. Don't put guilt on anyone else. He or her is having this experience right now. And, you know, if you take it away from them, it won't, then they maybe have to die and then incarnate again and try the whole thing all over.
Yeah. And
you never know. Are you doing someone a favor or a disfavor? I mean, unless you have this all-seeing eye, you don't know.
No, because some people have to experience some things that we shouldn't even help them. They need to do it.
Exactly what my point. Exactly my point. That's so. It's so to be in this business or in this way of belief system. You have to be awake all the time. You can't really fall asleep and say this. I learned this from what happened over here, but so now I know this. I mean, no, you don't. Next time, you try the safe kind of solution, and it will just shoot you right down. And you just, what, it worked yesterday, yeah, but not today.
No.
So you always have to be sort of awake, alert.
Yes.
And so therefore, you can't be lazy.
No. So which you can't be lazy.
No, and I just thought about that yesterday when I was out hiking, kind of in nature, in the rain, and I knew that as a witch, I have to not take I have to go over there and smell the roses that I see blooming there. I have to make time for that. I can't go from point A to point B like this. I have to do this. Well, you understand what I mean.
Yes. Yes, I do.
So, but that's the beauty in it.
Yeah. And it's also about what actually this summit is about taking the time for mindfulness, for seeing what's happened, not just go from A to B, but actually see what's happening around you and inside you, and just
go with the flow. And I hear the crows talking to me over there. Then I need to go over there, and I need to sit down there on some rock I find that is also talking to me. Everything starts to talk to you when you're out and about like that. So then you have to find the space and the time to really enjoy and listen and experience this communication that is, I think, in the spirit world of everything.
Yes, and a lot of spirits talk when you go just outside, when you are on Mother Earth. And we have, like you said, the stone people, and we have the flowers, and we have the sun and the raindrops and everything. And it's also a good thing to clean your aura with grounding. And I know you have a beautiful activity you do when you're about to do a reading for people. So I was thinking you can walk us through that for a short meditation, please.
Yes. So it's about 3 minutes. And first we take a deep breath, inhale in the stomach, and then we breathe out and relax in the shoulders and the neck and the back. So we breathe in and breathe out. Relax. And breathe in. Breathe out all worry, stress, anxiety that we carry on our shoulders and back and neck. And breathe in a third time. And breathe out, relax the back. And now we feel the tailbone. And so we feel our legs and our knees and our feet. And we wink a little with our toes. And then we pressure our feet slightly to the floor underneath us. And so now we visualize Earth, planet Earth, Mother, beneath our feet. And now we visualize that we grow roots from our feet down into the earth. And it's easy. It's just to think, now I'm growing roots from my feet down into the ground, into the earth. And so I do. And it's easy. They are already there, the roots. So we just feel them, they just slip into the earth. And right now it's in the northern hemisphere where we are. The earth is black and cold and in rest. It's resting, it's calm and moist. And now we are going to inhale through our feet and our roots. It's also to think only. Now I inhale through my feet and through my roots, and so we do. And exhale down into the legs, the knees, the feet, and down into the earth, to the roots. And breathe in through the roots and the feet. And breathe out down into the stomach, the legs, the knees, the feet, the roots. And now we inhale a third time, earth energy to our hearts. And exhale down into the stomach, the legs, the knees, down to the feet. And now we relax the back. And that was that. Now we are without worry, stress, or anxiety, and we have our roots down into the earth.
And it's really simple too. And it's good. It's a short practice, but that means you can do it whenever you want to. You can do it on a subway, you can do it at the office, you can do it when you brush your teeth. It's
exactly, or when you sit and wait for a phone call or anything.
Yes.
Yeah, or whenever you feel anxiety.
Yeah.
And when you feel you are taking your shoulders up like this, you know, and then you just do it. And so that's my motto also, to do a little bit and more often than to do a lot and more seldom.
Yes.
More like little pearls in the everyday life. Like just give it to yourself, like food for your soul.
Yes, that's beautiful. I've been talking about that too, actually, with other people I've been interviewing, because it's so many women are like, well, I do yoga once a week. And it's, yeah, well, that doesn't really cut it.
No, but I think still I always have to say but, because I'm a Libra.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, it's excellent to do 1 day a week. It's excellent better to do 1 day a week and not
at all.
Better to do maybe 2 days a week than 1 day. Better still to do 4 days a week, but then no more than maybe 4 days a week either. So it's to find the balance. And I think it's great to do 1 day a week, and then you can do like only 20 minutes, maybe you can find time the other 3 days in the week. And then I think to relax and to rest when women have our menstruation. So each month, stop when you start to bleed and relax, rest your body, and then start as a beginner when the new moon starts, and then work up to the expert when it's full moon, and then slow down again. So each month begin anew. That's my medicine.
That's good medicine.
Yeah, it's worked for me. I still do yoga.
Yeah. You should.
That's so funny, because I used to say, you know, I can't say I do yoga if I don't do yoga. So therefore I have to do yoga, because I like to say I do yoga.
That's a good motivation. It's good as any.
So I trick myself.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for today. We've been talking about a lot of interesting stuff, and you and I will probably do more on this out of the summit in the future. so people can watch.
Yeah, we have plans.
We have plans. So, but thank you for today. Thank you so much for wanting to join me. It's a big honor to me, of course. You are my teacher and my second mom, as I always say.
Yeah, thanks. I'm wearing this to honor you. The necklace.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
honor you.
We'll see each other next week, but the rest of you will have to go to your webpage to check it out and see if they feel called to maybe get a reading from you or join us in one of our future endeavors.
Yeah.
Thank
Great.
you. And
Thank you.
as I always say, keep the Shakti flowing.